Welcome to Whispering Pines Farms YouTube channel. I'm Jennifer Johnson and I raise sheep for their wool. We raise a flock of soft Shetland sheep with the main focus of raising sheep for their wool to produce fleeces for hand spinners to enjoy. So my goal is to get really great fleeces. Our farm doesn't send all of our wool to the mill. I really want to sell as many fleeces as possible because I really feel like the quality is so different from other breeds and it's really special. So that's our focus. So in this video, I'm going to be skirting fleeces that are going to be in an auction that I'm going to be holding once I get them all skirted. I don't have a date for it yet. The first fleece I want to show you is from our ewe. Her name is Liverpool. There's a big gross bomber fly in there. We don't need that. So Liverpool is a white ewe. She's 1 year old, so she was a lamb last year. She's special because, well, she's white, which I don't have a ton of white sheep in my flock. But Liverpool is one of the ewes that came to our farm via artificial insemination. So we brought in, well, I bought semen. I didn't bring it in. A bunch of other people that worked really hard brought it in to the US from the UK so that people like me could buy the semen and get fresh genetics. So this fleece is from a ewe from that whole process. So it's pretty exciting, very full circle-y kind of. This is really what the whole point was of the endeavor. Oh, and I forgot to weigh it. Oh my gosh, that's all right. I got to skirt some of this. So I Roo'd Liverpool. So, and it looks like, as I'm looking at it, that I Roo'd pretty liberally. Like I went after a lot of fiber. So there's a lot of VM in this that I need to skirt. So probably what happened was, as I'm skirting, I go down towards the belly and I maybe, put too much of the belly wool into this premium thing and not enough over into the skirting. So as I'm Rooing the ewe, there's a video I did this year, Rooing Dina. I Roo the neck, the britch, and the belly first, and then go after the wool under the coat. So that way none of the dirt from the dirty parts get in with the premium wool. So I'm just going to do some skirting here, and then I'm going to weigh the fleece just because there's quite a bit of not what I would consider quality to go into a raw fleece for my hand spinners in the auction. And then we'll get a weight. I don't know what I was doing here. Most of the time I'm a lot more careful. So I think maybe I was trying to just get as much fiber as possible because it is so special being so close to UK genetics. I don't know, maybe I got excited. But this definitely has got to come off. Sorry. So when I Roo in two sides. One half and then the other half later on, just because it's a long time for the ewe to be up in the stand and my hands get tired. So they're always going to be in two halves. You can see here, two sections. So what skirting is you're going around the perimeter of the fleece and removing any bits that are dirty, caked with mud or poo or excessively vegetative material. So a lot of the skirting has already been done because of the way I Roo. But all right, so this wool here is going to go into my comb top for white. So there's my comb top for white wool. It's, you know, it's essentially skirtings that aren't too bad that can go to a mill and be processed. So probably getting close to the 20-pound minimum I need for the mill that I use. Okay, so I've got the skirting done. Now what I'm going to do, I think I'm going to weigh it after, although I should have weighed those extra skirtings. 3.3 ounces. I want to know how much I skirted and how much is going into the actual coat, because I am recording fleece yields, how much actual wool goes into a fleece from a sheep versus skirting. And then I'm using that information for making my decisions about who I'm going to breed, who I'm going to sell, etc. All right, so I finished the skirting. I got the skirted wool is at 3.3 ounces. Put that in the bag before I forget. Okay. And I'm going to take a sample from this fleece. Now, one thing I'm going to comment on right out of the gate about Liverpool's fleece is that it's a lot longer staple than what I am breeding for, and the crimp isn't as super fine. It's a bolder crimp. We weren't expecting the UK genetics to be anything like what we're breeding for. What we were doing it for really was to get the genetic diversity, but still be, you know, super fine Shetland quality. So, you know, it's going to take a few generations for us to get these fleeces to where we want them, but I mean, they're still really nice. All right, so her fleece length, this is Liverpool, looks like 4 inches to me. All right, so then I staple the lock to the information card. The information card, I keep that in the house. So the fleece is gone, the ewe is in the barn, but all the data that I need to make decisions for whatever throughout the year, I've got it all on this card. Her spinning fineness is 23.2. For us, that's a high micron number for a lamb. I know I said she's a year old, but in my mind, this is her lamb fleece. 23.2 micron is a little bit on the high side. It'll be interesting to see if she maintains or if that increases. So, you know, just looking at it, what I'm going to do when I breed her, which we are going to breed these ewes, is put her with a ram that's super fine, you know, and then go from there. Okay. Now what I do is I take the index card that is in the bag. I use clear plastic bags for my fleeces so I can see inside. And then there's an index card that goes in the bag. I'm going to set that on her fleece and photograph the top of her fleece and the bottom of the fleece. So first I'm going to take a photo of the entire fleece. Then I'm going to take a picture of a parted shot. Right. I'm surprised that the staple length looks as short as it does, given that she was Roo'd. But it is what it is. It's a nice dense fleece. See that. All right, so I got the whole fleece. I got that. Now I got to take a photo of the back, which is fine. This photo of the back is really more important with sheared fleeces that are multicolor. With a white fleece, you know, it is what it is. But it's very cloudy and fluffy, so it's nice to have the photo. Put her name on there again so I don't, because I take thousands of pictures of fleeces. There's no way I'll remember, obviously. All right. I have a checklist I use to follow for skirting because there's so many steps. I've made it so complicated that I have to have a checklist to remember all the stuff I got to do. All right, so now I'm going to roll both halves up. I fold it over once so that the skin side is touching. That's just to keep it as clean as possible. And then roll that up, and then we're going to get a weight. So like I said, this is, the micron is higher. It's not quite exactly the fleece that we're breeding for, but I'm 100% not disappointed. This met my expectations, and it's still a really nice fleece. It'll be a nice fleece for a hand spinner to enjoy. So the I use, let me get the bag done first here. Liverpool's fleece was 23 ounces. And I did not write down the staple length. I mean, I have the staple right on the card here, but it's still nice to have it written down. I'm going to say 3.5 to 4. Took the photo. So we named this group of ewes. Every year we have a specific naming convention that you abide by. This year it was UK soccer teams in recognition of the fact that they're from the UK. So that's Liverpool. So she was 23 ounces, and this will be going into the auction.